Welcome back for another episode of Nobody Asked Us with Des and Kara, presented by TCS. Kara Goucher, super fast half marathon debut, among many other credentials. I was going to read off times and talk about that accolade, but we'll just let it go. We're going to let it go, and we're going to get right into the good stuff. How you been? What's going on? Tell me something exciting.
I went to this U Women's basketball game yesterday,
I
and it
saw
was
that.
so awesome. They're ranked number 3 in the country, and they won against number 6 team in the country, and it was really down to the wire. And Adam and I had courtside seats, so it was awesome.
That's cool.
And just to say women's sports are awesome, like support it, you know? I mean, yeah, this I'm going on a tangent here,
No,
but
it's
we
great.
kind of
That's
followed them a little more intently last year, and also UMD, University of Minnesota Duluth, is D2, and they made it last year to the final, and we just started watching it on TV. But I really realized that it matters to actually go and show up, and so we had the opportunity to go yesterday. It was awesome, and yeah, I guess that was something fun and cool that happened.
That's super cool. I saw that on the gram and I thought that was awesome. The seats looked great. Is it the conference tournament right now? Or are they just like in season getting ready for their March Madness? I guess that's a while down the line. Like it must be pretty mid season, early season.
Yeah, it's still in the season. They don't have conference for a little while yet. But I mean, honestly, we were like, if they, I mean, they made the tournament last year and they made the Sweet 16. We were saying, like, honestly, like, we should go. Like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't we go? It's super fun. It's super cool. The women are awesome. And it's really weird how just showing up like that. I got messages from the coaches today thanking us for coming out. And it's like not a big deal. Like, we just went and had the best time and watched an awesome, like, very athletic basketball game. So, anyway, it's made me really think about um, what it means to actually show up. Like it does matter that you support and all that stuff, of course, and watch. But if you can show up, it just goes a lot further. Not to like steal your line. Oh, and then Des, I was on Saturday. We had like a running thing here in Boulder, and I am officially like known as Des's bestie.
Well, yeah.
That's like my thing now.
That's hilarious. I like
Everyone's
it.
like, "Yeah, it's so good to see you. How's Des?" And I'm like, "Oh, she's good." So anyway, it actually really made me laugh and smile, made me feel good. But because there's worse things you could be known as.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty low, but there's probably a few more that are worse than that, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it definitely could be worse. So yeah, it was good. I got a lot of questions about you this weekend too, and I mean, I was just like, I don't pepper you with your training questions, but I think you're doing great and you're feeling excited, and that's what I told everybody anyway.
That's awesome. That just lets me know that you're far more social than I am.
No, no, no. This
Like
was like
5
the most
people in the last 3 months.
It's like the most social weekend of my life. Like Wazelle was in town, we were doing a photo shoot and everyone gamed up. Like it was
That's cool.
so cold. Like real feel 11 degrees Thursday night and we're shooting in tank tops and shorts, spring line.
Love
There's snow
that.
everywhere.
Uh,
Yeah, and so we
But
shot
warm.
Thursday. Yeah, it was not fun. But we shot Thursday, Friday, and then on Saturday there was an event at the Boulder Running Company, and
Oh, that's
I
right.
think like a couple hundred people came out. So, um, but now I'm tired because I was very, very social for 4 days
Yeah.
in a row.
That's impressive. I would have canceled this. I'd been like, "I need a breather. I need a couple days. I gotta regroup
No,
emotionally,
no.
fill the tank."
Okay, I have a question for
Yeah.
you. Talking about being social, it
Yeah.
seems like on the socials, everyone, not everyone, but a lot of the athletes have gotten to Orlando in the last, 3 to 7 days. And I'm just wondering what it's like for you. Are you seeing a lot of people out and about that are going to be running in the trials with you?
I try not to. Like, I do, like, just kinda put my head down and, like, um, do my own thing, but the first day I was out or I guess the first workout I did out here was the 3rd day I was here, I was actually doing the workout and I bumped into Annie Frisbee. So then I feel, like, obligated. I'm like, "Oh, hey, if you" like, she was running by herself. I'm like, "You wanna run with someone?" Like, shoot me a message, let's connect. And then M. Sisson messaged me and she was like, "We're looking for a different Airbnb because we just like, something happened with the one she was in." So then they, like, moved closer, to us. So but I haven't bumped into her. My buddy Charlie and his girlfriend Allison are staying in this place, so I see him every morning. So that's cool. And then I really want to do this. This is my goal and this is what's going to get me to be social. So my friend Katie Kellner brought her dog down, Jackson's a golden retriever. Annie Frisbee and Dakota Lindworm, I believe, are staying together or near each other and have two dogs with them. We have our two dogs, and then M's Siston has her two dogs. And there's this soccer field by us. And Shane, Emily's husband, and Ryan, my husband, will get the dogs together and they'll play on the soccer field and run around. So far, so good. There's been like a few like getting to know each other dog moments. But I want like everyone to bring their dogs out, and then we could just film all the like the dogs of the trials runners, which is way more interesting than any other runners. Like, let's just have the dogs run around and like have a big party. So that will
That's
be my
actually an
social.
amazing idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like have you been following Ben Herbstreit, Kirk Herbstreit's dog? He does the football broadcasts and he like does all the games. He's on the go all the time, but he has like flies in the private jet, brings the dog. The dog's like on the field, then he's in the jet, and then he's in the hotel. And so like they've started to feature Benny Herbstreit. And I think that our dogs are probably way cooler than Benny. So if the news wants to come out and film this dog party, I would welcome it. I would make it happen. I think it would go over really well with the people.
I think it would. I do think though, I mean, yeah, I'm all in for the dog date. I just think it's weird when you're like getting ready to make an Olympic team or try to make an Olympic team to see all your competitors. That makes me feel it's not like you don't want to be friends, but that's a time where I actually personally I'm like, I don't really want to be social right now. I want to like get my run done, watch my Netflix, and not see anybody.
Right. Like you kind of go into your bubble where it's like this is
Yeah.
the comfort zone. I know I'm away from home and I'm in this unfamiliar place, but this is how I like get into my headspace. I think some athletes are like, I don't know the area, I don't know where to run. Like I
Right.
really want to meet up with people. My friend Katie was like, "Are you going to be down there?" I really like to have other people to run with, and hopefully we can connect. And I was like, but I'll probably meet up with her once or twice here, and I think that will help her. So yeah, it's interesting to hear other people's opinions on it too. Like, nah, like I want to meet up with some people, and like I need that social time. I'm like, really? What?
Yeah. I think it's great that people feel comfortable reaching out to you. Good job, Des. You come across as a nice person.
Fake it till you make it. Like, I don't. I'm like, you know who else is social? Let me connect you with them. I'm like a CEO. I just like organize from the top, but I
Right.
I don't go to the office party.
Yeah, I
Just
like
kidding.
it. All right, well, how are you feeling? Everyone's gonna wanna know. This is gonna come out 5 days before the trials, so you still have a little time, that this comes out in over a week or 8 days or whatever, but how are you feeling? Are you feeling good? And what with this amount of time left, are you really just trying to stay healthy and feel fresh, or are you still trying to sneak in some fitness?
Yeah, so the Houston week was like such a just like kind of turned my training upside down. We had terrible weather in Detroit, traveled to Houston, travel delays, all that stuff. So I kind of missed a week of stuff that was pretty important at that time. But I wasn't injured and I wasn't like, I mean, it was just like I missed the workouts. I was still training and able to get runs and running in. So I came down here to Florida, took 2 easy days, and then had like back to back two really good workouts where I'm like, okay, like I'm not totally out of shape and this is exciting. So I don't know. I think that I'll be fresher than I would like to be. I think long game, it's like that might play in my favor for Boston anyhow. And I think even for the trials, like I think so many people just overdo it. And I'd
Mhm.
rather be a little fresher and undercooked than just like going, man, I just need the race to be here in 3 days because I'm hanging on. I would love 2 more weeks, but you don't get that. And so I think I'll just go in fresh and it'll be fun. I'm excited. I think that, we've talked about a million different scenarios and that's gonna be fun to see it all actually happen. Because on paper is one thing, and then, when the results land, you're like, "Oh, I did not see that person," or like, some
Yeah,
people are like, "Of course, I knew that was gonna happen, but I just don't know why I never, like, said her name out loud or thought of," like, not
right.
enough credit there. That's always fun to watch unfold. And then I'm gonna take a pivot here, though, but being down here, Low key, nothing on the schedule. We got to really just like go in on the football games.
Oh, nice.
And so shout out to the Lions making it to the NFC Championship. So exciting.
I
And
can't believe you didn't lead with that.
you know, I thought about it. In my mind, I had like this whole like a mental like sizzler reel, and I was gonna do like fans like and then give like a play by play of the last like drive for the touchdown, but that's not how it happened. And then it always sounds better in your mind. And then like da 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 da.
I mean, sounding pretty good.
Yeah, and then you go, hey, da da. So if they make it to the Super Bowl, if they make it to the Super Bowl,
Are
you'll
you
be
going?
down here. We'll do a sizzler reel like that. It'll be off the chains, and people will be Lions fans. Here's the thing: is if you even like remotely follow the sport, and maybe there's limited teams left right now. It's super easy to be a Lions fan because they are just the underdogs. They're the team that man like 0-16. They never make it. Like they get to the playoffs, they lose right away, and it's like the whole thing here is same old Lions. It's just like same old shit. They let you down, and right now, like they're doing it. So if you don't have a football team and you want to get into the sport, turn on the Lions game, root for them, and like it gets you invested in being a fan. Like you're just like, I want to pour my heart into this team because they're so dang likable. They're not supposed to win, but this is so fun to watch. They're so fun to root for. And as I was watching the games this weekend, I was like, being a fan is so great. Like I love
Mhm.
sitting on the couch and like biting my nails and like just having my whole heart on the line for these people I don't know. And
Yeah.
that's like, I'm going to bring this all the way back around. That's what the trials is. Like that's what
Yes.
it is. And there's all these cool stories and you're going to get to see people make their dreams come true. And that's just so cool. And then you're going to see people who have their heart broken right in front of you and you're going to want it for them and you're going to get invested as they go mile by mile, and then it's just not going to happen. And like the guy at the end of the Bills game who just like pulled his hat down and he's like crying, and you're like, dude, you're a grown man, like come on. But he just cared so much, and that's what the trials are. So watch the Lions, cheer for them, watch the NFL, cheer for them, but also tune in to the trials. And we've been just jamming down people's throats for the last couple episodes, but I'm going to do it one more time because it's right upon us and it's exciting stuff.
It's super exciting. I can't wait. Like we're so close to it now, and we've talked about the depth of the women's field, the depth of the men's field, and it's anybody's day. That's why they run the trials. That's why the US doesn't have a selection process where it's on paper, right? And just like you said, someone's dreams are going to be made. Also, sadly, people's dreams are going to be crushed, but it's so beautifully tragic and wonderful, right? Like all in one. And we are going to talk a little bit about that today because we've both been in the situation where we made the team and it was awesome. And we've both been in the situation where we didn't and it was fucking horrible. Um, but look, we're still here, right? And we still are invested and we still want to watch it and we still want to feel it with everyone else. So it didn't kill us. And your athletes that make it are going to be so happy, and the athletes that don't, yeah, they're going to be devastated, but they will recover and maybe they'll start their own podcast and talk about it. Who knows? It's definitely worth watching, and it's going to be so, I mean, like I can't remember the last time I was this excited about a race that I wasn't a part of, right? And so like I've gotten to call a lot of really cool races over the last few years, but this is the one I'm like the most excited about. And so I don't know, it just feels like it's going to be something really, really special, and it always is, but it feels like this year in particular. So
Are you nervous? Are you nervous at all for the call?
I am. I am
Yeah.
because I really want to do the athletes justice. And I'm stressed. Like I have a email from my producer right now that I need to respond to. NBC doesn't have time to interview every single athlete and get sound bites from every single athlete. So I made a list of must-haves, and he said, try to narrow it down to 10. Well, my list is like 23 people,
Good luck.
So I'm just like really stressed out. I don't want to miss a soundbite from someone who makes it. I don't want to miss a soundbite from someone who comes super close and just barely misses. It's like, and I just want to do it justice. Like I want people to care. I want people to turn on NBC and be like running and then be like, wait, what'd you say? Wait, what? And like they can't turn the channel. And then 2 hours later, they're yelling at the TV or like gutted for someone. Like that's what I want. And
Yeah.
so I do feel nervous, but I also just feel lucky to have the opportunity too. So I'm going to be nervous, but once you guys get going, I'll get in the flow. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, we've talked about TV a fair amount of times, but I think it's like such a good pivot for athletes because it's super high pressure. Everyone's watching, everyone's listening, they're going to critique it, but like you can just absolutely deliver. And obviously, the athletes are doing the thing, but you can really sell it or like enhance that moment when done really well. Um, I think what sucks about it is that people don't go back and they're like, "That was an amazing call." Like, she just made the race because the athletes get the credit, but also, like,
They
sometimes
should,
there's just
right?
these
Yeah.
moments that you're like, "That made the race better," and I think that you always do that, so that'll be fun to,
Oh,
listen to, and I'll go back and watch it for sure.
that's very nice. By the way, we're getting a soundbite from you.
Yay!
I didn't even put your name on the list. My producer did. So
Nice, okay. Not biased at all. She's
yeah,
probably just gonna
we
ask,
gotta put it
we're
on.
gonna ask about the pod. So what's it like podcasting now?
All right. Well, we have some special guests today. Should we bring them in?
I think it's time. I think we've teed this up nicely. I think we're talking about ups and downs of the trials, and none of it happens alone. So let's
Mm-hmm.
talk to some people in the support crew.
All right.
Welcome, guests of the pod. If you're on YouTube, you know who's here. If you're just listening to the audio, we have two guests in the room. Adam Goucher on one end. Welcome, Adam.
Hi.
I'll let Kara give off his accolades, and then I will give off Ryan Linden, who is here, his accolades. Go for it, Kara.
Accolades
Okay.
besides being married to you?
Oh, yeah. Well, this is Adam Goucher, and he is my husband of 22 years. And he is like a really good runner from the beginning. He won Foot Locker in high school. He won 4 national titles at Colorado. He won, I don't even know how many national titles you won, like over 10.
Nah, I don't know.
Yeah, with cross country and indoor and outdoor.
Sure, why not? Yeah. I like that.
No one's gonna
And he was 6th at the World Cross Championships, and he made an Olympic team in the 5,000. And I mean, like, Adam has so many stats. It's actually crazy. He was a very successful runner, but most importantly, he's now my husband.
Yes.
Okay.
Locked
Now
it
you go,
down.
Des.
Atta girl.
Eat that.
All right. Well, Ryan Linden, Michigan State alum, part of the Sparty clan. There, did not run for the team. Got into marathoning around age 18.
Yeah.
Yep. So got his marathon chops and was into that for a number of years. Ran Boston, qualified for Boston, ran Boston, and then transitioned to triathlons. He was doing Ironman races for a while. Qualified for Kona a number of times. And now he's into the gravel scene. So he's just like an explorer of endurance sports. And also, I think his claim to fame was having the greatest mustache of all times at the finish of the Boston Marathon. He was in a Linden and True hat. It was buffalo plaid, and he had this marvelous mustache and this just magnetic smile. And all the ladies were like, "Who is that stunning man?" Right, taken Ryan Linden.
Yeah.
How's that? Is that a good intro?
That was good.
That was good.
That was really good.
All
And now
right.
I'm remembering the stash.
Yeah.
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 It was,
Bring it back.
the downside of it was he was like, "Well, everyone knows me because of the stash, so I can't get rid of it." I'm like, "No, you can get rid of it." But we got there eventually.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Well, we
fellas.
wanted-
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for being here. We wanted to talk to you guys because we want people to hear what it's like to be the supporter of someone running the trials. There's hundreds of people about to run the trials. I think I read today 162 women that are declared. And not going to lie, I'm not sure about the men, but definitely a lot of people. And they have loved ones that are going with them, loved ones that have been a part of the process. So we thought it'd be cool to chat with Adam and Ryan about what it's like to, I mean, so this is where it's a little difficult because they've had their own very successful athletic careers. But we also want to chat about what it's like supporting a loved one who's trying to make an Olympic team, specifically in the marathon, because that's what is about to happen for 6 people. So
Cool.
No, I think like let's just start with the training, like getting through the training segment. And Ryan's already laughing because he's like, "It's hell." Um, I think
Yeah.
you gotta think about the peak years when your loved one has a really great shot, and it's like they should be making this team. And I think that's a scenario Kara and I were in, where it's like you should make the team. What's that like? At the beginning of a segment, how do you support that, and how do you like make sure you're not putting extra pressure on the athlete, but also like helping them chase their goal? Do you want to win?
Sure. No pressure, but I think going into years, I would say like back to 2012 and 2016, when those were Dez's kind of prime years, that it was kind of make or break. Like, we got to make the team. It's definitely like the whole lead up, build up into it is very different. And you're trying to make sure everything that you do, from what you eat to relaxing in the evening to taking away chores, I mean, whatever, chores, cooking, laundry, you're doing to make it so that they can focus on one thing to make the team. And I think, I don't know, it's nerve wracking to be the athlete. I've never been on that side of it, but I think also for the support side, it's just as nervousness come race day and those whatever 10 weeks building up to it and the final couple weeks, because you're like, God damn, what if it goes wrong here? Like, what's the damage control button, or can I hit like an escape button and we can like disappear? It's fun. It's fun to be able to be, I think, like back to 2012 and 2016 and even 2020. I think I did a lot of the running with Des at those times, from workouts to daily runs, to be a part of it. So you get to see everything, but it can take your toll on you yourself too at the same time. So
Yeah. I mean, it's exactly what Ryan said. I mean, it can be pretty nerve wracking. I think, looking back to, it was interesting because back in 2012, our son was 16 months old. Yeah. So, and I was at the end of my career basically because I had a bad knee injury that was like, I was done. It was just done. And um, I was at the point where I had the opportunity, the docs that were saying, hey, we could possibly do this surgery where it was cartilage replacement, where they took your stem cells and grew your own cartilage and put it back in. And then it was just it's still kind of, I guess I wasn't 100% out there, but that opportunity, I was like, well, that could be great, except for here's Kara's training and we have a 16-month-old and there's no way I could be, because I'd have to be non-weight bearing for like 3 months or something ridiculous. It was really like crazy. But so at that point I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen now. So it was just, I guess I've been on the athlete side of it, and in the training, and it's like it's so important to get in your training and get in everything you need to prep. And so I think, as Ryan said, if there's some sort of issue, or if this doesn't work out, what's going to happen? Where's that escape button, right? Like you just want to make sure everything's right. And it can be a little terrifying at times. It's way worse, in my opinion, to be standing on the sideline than actually running that race. So that's my opinion.
I was going to add to that. That's like, to me, is like the worst part of like getting through the training part. Is like you know what is expected and you want everything to go perfect. But to me, the worst is actually race day, because like you've been able to like do a run with them or help them out or whatever. And on race day, you're like, oh crap. I'm like, I can't do this. like literally I've had it's been more fun like years ago, like training with Des and being like, okay, we're racing. We're both doing the same race. And I do my own thing at the race and she does her thing. And I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about anything else.
Catch up at the end.
Yeah, like, oh, she did great. Awesome, sweet. I didn't even think about it. Versus like that gun goes off and you're like, oh, there's nothing I can do at this point. Like,
It's hell.
Yeah.
It's complete hell, honestly.
So what do you do during the race? I mean, we've jumped forward here, but like, I'm going to speak for Ryan here, and then he can override it because he will. But Ryan likes to stress eat, so he'll eat like cupcakes or like brownies, or like there's always like the elite sweet. So he'll just like stress eat. There'll be like a photo. His mom will be like, "Here's Ryan during your race," and he's got like he's like, I can tell he's not enjoying it, but he's watching the screen, so that's his thing. Do you have a thing that you would do, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was a pacer, I mean, if I so like at races where like Boston Marathon, where I'm in the the friends and family area, kind of like the VIP area of the, there's food and drinks and there's just all the streaming of you're just there's nothing you can do, and you're just constantly you're nervous, like you're just like, oh God, if she starts, because I think I can see on her face and her form. I've watched her enough,
and we've run together many times that
so you're like, you can see it. Wait, is her form breaking down a little bit? You start I think I overanalyze things, and then if it's like the Olympic trials where in like 2016 in particular, I was just trying to get everywhere I possibly could away from other people so I could yell and tell her how she's doing, how she's looking, and just try to relax.
You did that in 2012 too. You were all over the place.
2012, yeah. I feel like 2012 I was on like an elliptical.
You were on elliptical.
I was like an elliptical riding around. So, yeah. But I mean, it's almost better to be out on the course trying to strategize, I think. Like, okay, where can I get to, so she can see me again, and hear me, and whether it's good or not, I don't know if that's a really good thing.
I was just going to jump in and say, I actually preferred those situations because hearing him was like calming. It was like practice. It was like every day. So like in 2012 and 2016, hearing him, he's giving me information. He's telling me what he's seen. He's really encouraging, and it makes it feel less daunting than when you're just like at the start of the Boston Marathon or the New York City Marathon, you're like, well, I'll see you in 2.5 hours. It's just it just feels different. And like in Boston, you couldn't even, I guess you could come out.
Boston, no, I mean, it's really not something like there was no way to spectate.
You can't see anything.
Yeah. I mean, so, because I remember I think the first year I went out to the starting line and then got bussed back, and I mean, not bussed back, like a van, and I think the race was half over by the time I actually got into the hotel. And so
did you ever go to their phone watching it? Like,
right.
Defeat.
I think I remember that one, Adam. We were sitting, I think it was
11.
I think Lilo was with us or somebody was with us, because I remember coming back and we were all like sitting there, and like all of a sudden, like it's when cell phone service was so shoddy, and it would freeze up. It was like buffering you're like, what the hell happened here? And you get back and you're like, oh, they're now at mile 16. You're like, oh, great. Like, well, I don't know what's going on now.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that. So Boston, New York is a little bit better, right? Getting around, running around.
I don't think you did when I raced though. Not the first time. You just stayed.
No, not the first time. Yeah, I guess that's true. And then the second time, it was like 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh my God, Des ran fine. She had no problem.
Des ran great.
I blew the hell up at 18 miles. That was so awful.
No, I tried to get around there. I was on.
No, you were
Mark
around.
And Heather. And
you and Mark.
Me and Mark. Ran around and got yelled at and stuff. So
success.
So what type of stuff are you saying? And you guys can both chime in. Like, what are you saying during the race, and how much is it?
Telling me, put your head down, because I'm always right.
Yeah.
How much is it to comfort yourself, and how much is it like informational? Like, this is going to help her. This is going to make a difference here. I'm coaching.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? You don't want to say, "God, you look like shit." Like, which is what you want to say. So a lot of times, you go, "Oh God, you're pull it together."
Yeah.
But,
You have
um,
Great guys, great.
but yeah, and like Kara for sure, just like cues. I would always give her cues because that was something like her when she started getting out of like tired, her head would kind of come back and it's like, hey, bring your head down, like relax, like
No, you'd be like, put your head down.
put your head
Put your head down. And I'm like,
And
it was good though, because I knew I was like, oh yeah, I'm straining. I gotta relax.
yeah.
It was helpful. And he would give me information. I mean, I remember in 2016, it was almost like, oh God, it makes me want to cry. You were almost like pleading. I saw you with a few miles to go, and you were like, Shalane is fading. And you were
Mhm.
almost like, I could almost hear, it was like you were almost about to cry, but like I couldn't see her and whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, you do try to give me information. And I remember in 2016, you ran to Dez's coach. Remember?
Yeah, I think I told you probably don't remember Des, but I was like, Shalane, she's fading. You can get her. And then I saw your coach and I was like, make sure you know this because when they come through, Shalane's definitely, encourage her.
Yeah,
So,
don't settle for third, basically.
yeah,
'cause
like
he
keep
knew you
going.
He knew you could get another spot.
And then
for
I was
sure.
hoping Kara would rally, which didn't
Right.
happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you both got robbed in that race.
Okay.
Let's be real. I mean, cheater shoes, cheaters.
Well, Des got the job done.
You want to beat this out, cheaters?
Okay. All right. Tell us about, because I actually got to have not this experience with Adam, seeing him make his Olympic team or seeing him make world champs. I remember in 2007, I was so happy for you. But Ryan and Adam, tell us what it's like when we got the job done. Like, did you feel just relief? Were you like, oh, thank God? Or are you like, I mean, I'm sure you're happy, but what goes through your mind when like you see us cross the line and we like got it done?
I think 2012 was like, damn, like you're on cloud nine because you're like, this has been a goal of hers for so long, and you're excited and you're like, it's the first Olympic team to make, and you're just like, this finally it worked, like it paid off, and you knew it was going to, but it was like a sigh of relief, I think. But then when things don't go as planned at the games, and now you have 4 years to make it back again, I think like 2016, like it was like more seeing her cross the finish line. Like you had people that would be like, "Oh, she's got it. It's all over. It's all over." And you're like, to me, I'm like, "No, it's not over until you cross the finish line. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna be going back there, and I'm still like, it's not over yet. Like type deal. It's once they cross, and that was like, I feel like it's that biggest like sigh of relief. You're like, yes, like we get redemption. It's redemption tour now. Like let's go back. Like this is, I don't know, it's taped. You got a second chance at this, and like let's. I don't know. To me, I think I was more excited on the second one because we've been through it, and but you're like, this one's going to be special type deal. It's you do also feel like I think I remember I'm like just pitted out in my shirt because I'm like I've been
It was
just
hot.
it was I'd never noticed the heat that day. I was just more like sweating from walking back and forth down the street by myself. Like, damn it, just get this over with. How quickly can this race end and everything? So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think I know how much work and how much effort, everything that's gone into it. And so when it's going good, it's so amazing. Right. And you're so happy, happy for you, happy, for the situation. And, you're achieving your goals and your dreams. And then on the flip side, when it's kind of like, it's not going great and it's like, don't give up, like keep going. And when it's not good, it's hard, when I can, seeing you out there faltering and falling off pace and just like, it's like, gosh, it's really tough. but then on the flip side, when you have those races where you just, I could just watching how strong you looked, like knowing you were there, knowing you were, there, you weren't going to be denied. I mean, that's like pure excitement. So, yeah. I don't know.
So I guess we've both been fourth, which is special to us. Made some teams, been fourth. Like on that side of things, like there's obviously the disappointment in the moment, but I think in both of those scenarios, like, and Kara, you can correct me if I'm wrong about you, but like that was everything. You get to the line and you're like, I gave it everything. Like, how much can you take from the fact that they put their whole heart on the line and like, I can't, like, I was out there watching you. I can't find a spot where I would have changed something, or like, how much are you consoling and how much are you just like, just go ahead and be sad and let's be sad together. Like, what was your guys' balance for that? Because I feel like that's something you do internally. You're like, well, I gave it everything, and you're fine with it, but you're also super pissed. And like, did you guys feel that same way? And how did you balance those things?
Yeah, I think I feed off of her. Like I'm like, hey, babe, hey, how you doing? Hey, you ran really good, but are you okay? Just kind of like got to get a feel for it. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's like, so it's just like, what a rough spot to be in, right?
Well, fourth was just awful, right?
I mean,
it was like I was questioning everything. Like no athlete gets the ending they wanted, but I, in my mind, was like, I'm making it to Rio. I'm running that, and I'm done. I'm tired. I'm old. I want to be with my child more. And I'd already like scripted this thing, and then it was like to be so close. Like if I had been 8th or 15th, I would have been like, yeah, okay, I'm done. But then I was like, well, shit, like, should I still be running? Like, should I still be competing? And, Adam had to like, I mean, it took me years to finally decide to move on. And Adam was like on that whole roller coaster. I'll say Adam is like the best. I mean, he can be a little harsh, but like, I'd be like, I don't want to drink for whatever leading up to the race. And like, he's like, okay, I won't do that with you. I don't want to eat this, or I want to eat this. And he's like, okay, I want to go to bed at 5:30 PM. Okay. He just does it all, and and he's like I'm like in bed and he's like so bored, but he's just such a trooper. And then on the flip side, when things go wrong, you're a trooper too. And I know you feed off me. Like if I give you a glimmer of I'm moving on, you like got excited. But then if I was like, no, I'm not ready to move on, then you would feel it with me.
16 was so tough too, because your training was going so good. And then you got sick and you were like so sick.
I know. We never talked about that.
She had the worst head cold, flu. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And I felt awful because if anyone was going to get sick, it should have been me, right? But it was her, and probably, she's training so hard, so much stress that goes into it. And
we had a kid in preschool. I'm sure that's where I got it.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the best.
No, that's one thing we would do differently. If you have young kids, we would have pulled him out a month before.
Yeah, like keep him out and keep him away from other kids.
Yeah,
because
put him in the kennel.
I mean, it was just like it's so brutal when I've been in that position, going into like NCAA cross my junior year, ready to win, like no doubt I'm going to win. And like woke up the day we left with the worst head cold, like sore throat, fever, congested. And then you just go, hey, it's fine. I'll be fine. And you run as good as you can, but you're not at your best. And actually, I got 4th that year. So, of course. But that was the champ. That was a little different. But so yeah, it's tough when you're training so hard and trying to do everything so right, and then something like that pops in, and you're just like, God, come on! It's just so brutal. So,
yeah. Oh
no.
I was going to ask Ryan, what was it like? I mean, I saw you guys really late that night when Des got 4th, but like, what was it like seeing her? And she was so close too. And you know, like she was on that straightaway as people who are making the team were making the team. So what was that like for you? Not to make you feel bad, Des, or make you like upset. It's so fucking bad, but it's awful. But like, what were you thinking, Ryan, and feeling, and how was the aftermath, you know, for you?
I think it was like totally opposite of what I thought it was going to be like. I just remember being like senior before she was making the last little out. I don't know. You made like a left-hand turn, and I was like, "You're so close!" Like just yelling, "You got to go!" Thinking like it looked like she was moving. I'm like, "Oh, we can do this." And then you're like, I got to somewhere on the straightaway before they made the right-hand turn, like in, and I'm like, "Shit!" Like this isn't like there isn't like there's no more wheels here,
Mhm.
and it's running out of ground, and you're like it was like one of those things. You're like, I don't know. Like you're just kind of like, well, this wasn't what we planned for, but you're like start wondering, and you're like, she gave everything she had. Like we had the same thing you guys have had. She had a sickness that year, uh, probably 3-4 weeks prior that was knocked her out for a little bit, and maybe that's what it was. But you're like, she gave everything her heart, and you're like, it is what it is. I think you see her coming down the finish line, and I was like, ooh, I don't know, like you want to be there, but also you're like, I might need to leave right now. Like,
You go get some cookies.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away. Like, there's gonna be damage control. I'm just gonna like, no, like,
Yeah.
you're super proud of what they did, and you know that they gave everything, and you're just like,
I don't think I saw you till way later.
no, I was there right away. Well, I couldn't get. I kind of got in close as I could, but I also think there's also the fact that I think that being for you guys like Kara and 16, there's a difference between getting fourth place like at the prime of your career and not making the team and never made a team before, and this was like 2020 was like it was going to be Des's third time to make the team, and I think there's a different feeling of how you handle that situation. I can say that like if it was that was her first, she missed making her first team by that. I think it would have been a different like kicking and screaming on the ground. But she was meltdown. She was like in control and just like I gave it everything I had, and you knew it. And that's I don't know. At the end of the day, it's why everyone loves like the U.S. system. Like it's the top three that day. It doesn't matter that you were sick 3 weeks ago or you had a great training block and they didn't have a great train. You got to be top three that day.
Doesn't matter if it's hot or not. Doesn't
matter. Does not matter.
Don't even get started.
Yeah.
No, so I think it's just you're proud of what they did, and as difficult it is, I think for being a support person, you realize how difficult it is for them because that's where they put their last 4 years in. And just proud, like it is what it is. You gave everything. Like I know that there was nothing else you could have done that day, and
then you go out and have drinks.
Yeah.
And the world goes on,
Yeah. I wasn't quite as gracious as you. I mean, I was like, I lost it through really good people, but I did an interview and I ended up, it's shown back to me all the time now as
I love that interview. I love
it's
that.
kind of funny. Like it was used at every single time I testified against Salazar, they showed that video and I had never seen it because I was embarrassed that I lost my temper like that. Now I've seen it like, I don't know, 6 times now or something. And every time I watch it now, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like her.
Like that is the trials though. Like that is like the emotion that like that's like real emotion. And there's obviously all kinds of other background story there that's like just bubbling and bubbling. But like after you put your heart on the line and you believe in this thing for like years, months, days, like all the way down to like the last, like it's the last 2 miles where there's the lollipop and you're like, maybe I can catch Shalane and I'm still going to believe and I'm still going to believe. And then you cross the line and they go like, how do you feel like right now? And you're like, fuck you. Like, that's what I feel like. Cause it's all of these things compiled and compressed. And then it's just like, here, let me light that on fire.
Right.
'Cause
Mhm.
it's your
Totally.
heart's broken, and,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I think that is like, and you interview that 3rd place person, and it's, there might be 8 seconds separating you, but their interview is, like, the polar opposite, and, I mean, we talk about it all the time going into the drug testing room, and it's like 3 people who made the team, and they're draped in their flags, and they have their medals, and they're filling out their forms, and you're sitting there with your piss cup, and you're like, "Kill
Mhm.
me."
Yeah.
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 Like,
Do you
kill me.
remember in 2012, like they brought us into like in front of the media and they brought Amy?
Yeah.
And I was just like, who does that? Like
Why?
the three
Yeah.
of us, Shalane, you and I are elated. I'm so relieved. Like it was the most stressful race of my life. I'm so happy. I can't even like, I'm like, my friends were like, you seem like you're comatose. I was just like, thank God. Like I was just, you're super pumped. You make your first Olympic team. Shalane wins. She's pumped. And I'm like, why is Amy here hearing all of our happy answers?
Mhm.
It just felt so, I
That's a
mean,
separate press
that's the
conference,
way it
if there
is.
is
Yeah, have a
one.
separate press conference. Like, it
Like,
just felt so like I was so happy, but didn't wanna be like, "This is the best day of my life. How are you doing?" It just felt
right.
so awkward. Anyway, that's a tangent, but I felt so bad for her. But then, of course, she made the track team, so it all ended up totally fine. But it's yeah, we've talked about that before. Like, 3 people are super excited and 1 person is just absolutely devastated,
I
and you're all together. It's great.
I think me and Des kind of brought it up the other day on a run, and as much as I'm excited for this go around, and I think Des has a chance to make the team. I'm also in my head going like, there's 3 people on the girls' side that we know that who like we know a bunch of them closely. They're like some people are going to be like on cloud 9, and there's going to be like that like shit, man. There's going to be some
Just
like
heartbreak.
heartbreak and like broken couples that are like, damn, like
Yeah.
what do I do now?
Mhm.
I don't, it's a game of sports. There's no guarantee that
Yeah, but you
anybody.
don't envy those people,
No,
right?
hell
Like,
No.
it's like for us this time, there's literally nothing to lose. If I finish the race, like it's a victory. We're gonna have drinks. If I make the team, cool. We'll get more expensive drinks. I don't know. Who cares, right? Like same. There's nothing to
Yeah.
lose. But like for the people who, this is the prime of their career, or like like someone's got a shot at the medal, or this is probably their last trials. Um, Man, you just like you hope they make it, but there's so many of them that they can't all make it.
They can all make it.
It's like,
Yeah, so
don't
what
envy
would
them.
you and Ryan, like, what would you guys say to spouses or support loved ones of because there's numerous women who have not made an Olympic marathon team and who think they're making it and they're not, right? Only 3 people can make it. So to those other 4 or 5 people who don't make it, what would your advice be to their spouse or loved one or partner or whoever is there with them in that moment?
just give them support, undying support. Like, you reinforce that, they're pain, that it's hard, it's painful that missed it by this, amount. But I think just doing your best to appease them, like make them, you know, realize like, yeah, that was tough, that was hard, but you worked your ass off and you did great, and there's another day to fight. So that's kind of the way you look
Mhm.
at it, I think.
I'd say the same thing. It's just you're there to support them. Um, you're there through all the ups and downs of the training, whether it be the last year or whatever 4 years that you've been with them, and support them. They did everything they could that day, and like we said, there's only 3 people are getting a spot. It's not that you're not a good athlete. It's just it wasn't your day. Um, and be proud that you were one of them that made the Olympic trials, and hopefully you were a factor in the race, and um, you know you live to fight another day. Like at
Mhm.
the end of the day, you can maybe come back for the track trials, or you can refocus for another fall marathon, or you go like, okay, like what do I need to do to be better? If you're younger, like this was experience, like how do I come back, build from this for 4 years from now for LA? Like it's, and use it as energy. Like, you get, like, don't dwell on it all night, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
enjoy the moment for what it is. It's a special, special day, and you gave it everything that you got.
Kara, what would you say?
If Adam just barely missed an Olympic team,
Or anybody to
I'd
like
be
to the
crying.
people.
I'm not as good of a support person. I just cry like
What
knowing
advice would
I
you give to like the
I think
person?
it was reminding them that they're more than running, right? Like, I think that's the stuff that really helped me. Adam and my family would like be like, well, we still want to hang out and we want to have fun, like, just reminding you that you have value outside of that. And I think it's important too, to really, I beat myself up a lot in 16. I'd go back over the race, especially the last few miles. I think like I should have, my coach Heather would say psycho Kara, which, like at the very end of an interval or workout, I tend to find something. I just didn't find it that day. And I think, why couldn't I find it? And, like really it was Heather and Mark and Adam being like, you didn't make a single mistake. You ran a great race. And that helped me a lot to finally like accept it. Sometimes you can't control what anyone else does. And sometimes it's just not, you can run a great race and it's still not in the cards for you. And they really helped me to see that. So I would really encourage other people to do that too. Like, you could do everything right and not get what you want, but that doesn't mean you did anything wrong. And no one is disappointed in you. They're disappointed with you, but not at you, you know?
Yeah,
What
that's a
about you, Des?
good thing to point out, that difference. I feel like you have that person who does all the workouts, who does the extra chores, who like goes through all of that with you. And I think a lot of times athletes are like, I let them down. It's
Mhm.
like, no, they're in it with you and they're heartbroken with you, but not disappointed at you. Or, there's a very big difference between those things. I agree in that, really focusing on, you know, there's value in who you are outside of running, and that's, you're more than just like your results and accolades, although both of you gentlemen have great accolades. But you're more than those as well. And I think the thing with our sport, like, we put so much emphasis on the Olympics, but there's so many opportunities to have your moment. And like, I'll always remember 2012 and like being like, I'm going to go to the games and I'm going to end up dropping out. And this is like the worst. Like, I'm not really an Olympian. Like, everything I thought I like earned at the trials felt like it was being taken away. And my coaches were like, look, you're going to do something. You have so much in front of you. You're going to do something that is going to make this moment feel like a blip on the radar. And, winning Boston made that feel like if that was the only achievement I had in my career, it would have been just as good, and there's opportunities every year, every major, all kinds of races that you can have that moment where you make your mark. So learn from what you can from the day, be proud of what you did, and know that there's, stuff out in front of you that you can still have your defining moment.
One more thing I'd like to ask you guys is, you both have sacrificed a lot to help your wives. I mean, Adam, like, you didn't have that surgery. You ran with me so much when you couldn't run anymore. I remember one long run leading into the Rio trials. You were on a bike with Colt on a 22-mile
Yeah.
run, and Colt kept talking. You're like, buddy, you need to stop talking to mom right now. And you were just like, giving up a lot of your own things that you want to be doing to help me. And I'm sure Ryan, for the same with Des, at times, like, maybe he doesn't really want to be in Orlando right now, so what, like, it's sometimes it's tough to show that appreciation. Like, what would you tell athletes that have amazing support people that they should let those people know? Like, what's important to hear when you really have, like, I keep hearing Ryan say we, because it really is a team, right?
Mhm.
Like, you're both just as dedicated. Like, yeah, Des is the one that went out there and made the team, but she couldn't have done it without Ryan, and same with us, right? And so what would you like to hear from the athlete? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
you've done this. I'm sure Des has done this, and I think this is simple, like, acknowledgement that hey, I know you've been out there and you've been helping me along, and thank you. Like, it's As simple as that. But even if they don't get that, I think you kind of know. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
you kind of know. I mean, it is, and like you said, it is a we. It is a
Mhm.
we, right? It's
Yeah.
I always say we. I've always said that, and because you're out there doing the best you can for me and vice versa. So just acknowledgement, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Cool.
think that's pretty good.
Let's hear Ryan's
Yeah,
point of
Ryan.
view.
He's gonna be like, maybe she could do the dishes
Hold on.
after the
Damn.
race.
I
Nice.
was thinking, Adam, you ever go like, hey, guess what? My time's up for these last 10 weeks. Looks like the next 2 months you're cooking, cleaning, every night type deal.
There's another race on the calendar, homie. Sorry.
That's awesome.
Hey, guess what? Yeah, there's a map.
I will never retire.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't. I think it's a team effort. You win on the good days and you lose on the bad days. Like it's even you're not getting to be the one out there competing. You're still part of it, and I think you get to. I don't know, being the support person, you get to just see it from a different side, and you enjoy it just as much as they do, and you get to cherish some parts of it. And I think you realize just seeing what they do every day, like how much they support, how much your support means. Maybe they don't say it, but I think just simple. I don't know. It's pretty easy. Like I can see it with Des. Like she knows it. She'll say thank you for things.
I wasn't sure if he was going to say that or not. Like every now and then I try to say thanks.
No, and I think like I don't know, maybe the perk of it and the thing is like you were part of the journey. You know, like there's a lot of people that never get to be part of someone's journey to try to make an Olympic team or compete at a Boston Marathon, and you know, like the thank you to I don't know me or Adam is like you were a part of it and got to see it firsthand, experience the highs and the lows along the way.
I always think like the biggest thing for the support crew is they get to go to these events and like they're at the games. There's all these parties. They're in a cool city. Like they're like getting wined and dined. And you're
I
all
never
like
got wined and
hustling.
What
dined.
the heck? Ryan
need to
and
travel.
Adam should have been hanging out back in the day.
I know, man. I need to be hanging out with Des a little bit more here.
Yeah,
Des
like,
is
you're
key.
like having fun doing all the
No.
parties and stuff, and then you're like, okay, so I gotta like race so I can go have fun too.
No, that's there's a bunch
It's
of
not
there's a
true
bunch
at
of BS there. I can tell you, like in Rio, walking around, there was times I was like, I need to get away from everybody else. Like,
Yeah,
just
I'm sure
stay.
you're stressed.
Yeah, I'm like, can we just get to this race?
Look,
Get it
I
over
was
with?
just really alluding to the fact that you're eating a lot of ice cream before the race. Okay, it's like I want ice cream. This looks great. It's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But I think being a fan would be really fun too. Like afterwards, just being like, let's go to the Olympics and watch everyone else compete, and just like go and have fun one day.
One day.
Well, but if you say that, like you both have gotten to see it, Carrie with Adam on teams or whatever, and Des has been with me to like world championships. Like, do you think it's the same for you as you guys think it is for us? Like when you get there, like, do you feel relaxed or do you feel stressed or like what's it like? Because it's
No, I'm lucky that Adam never ran the marathon, but like I went to the first world championship I went with to support him was 01, and I was like so nervous the whole time. Like I just wanted it for him so bad, you know. That was in Edmonton and your training had gone so well, and we just had so much hope. Like there was a little altitude there, and you know, you made the final, you cruised through, and of course, I mean, we could really get into the weeds here. This is before EPO testing and all that stuff, but like it just was so devastating that you didn't get to have what you wanted. And but on the flip side, like when you made the world championship team, well, actually, when you got 6th at World Cross in 06, that was so fucking exciting. And then in 07, when you made the team in the 5,000, like it was so exciting because you had fought through so much. You had had all those foot problems. Your training had been shit and you made it happen. It was just like so awesome. But I actually think it's easier being the athlete than being the supporter in my experience, because I'd just be so nervous. And again, like if I'm in the race and it's going south, like I know, right? I know it's not going to happen. And I'm kind of like working through that as I'm running. Like, I don't know if Adam is, I don't know where he's at. Like I can tell his form's a little different, but I don't know if he's like, no, I'm still going to fight. And it just, it's really hard, I think, being
when
the
you're in the
person.
Yeah, and when you're in the race, like like they're in control. You're in control, right? Hopefully, if you're not over your head. But that being in control, and when you're watching your person, you're just like you want to help them, right? You want to be like, okay, are you there? Like you just feel helpless.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I just have to let it happen. And it's the way it is. And
I never had to sit through him running a marathon or doing a world championship Ironman course. I just had to sit through a 5,000 and a 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like being the support person? Were you nervous?
No, Ryan's like the happiest guy in the world. So I'm like, you'll be fine. I'm excited, but it's like the race is so long. The Ironman race is so long that you can't like really care that long. You can't watch the swim. I tried to watch him on the bike a couple times, and like he's like, you're waiting for like hours, and he's like, zoom, like,
right.
Go. And then you see him run. And I'm like, I see him run all the time. So give him advice, and like at that point, it's like pretty ironed out. But like I could go watch a movie. So I feel like it's such a long event that you're like, there's no point in being stressed. And then he's just always pretty happy anyways. Like if he's fired up, he'll be fired up for like, 25, 30 minutes and we'll have a conversation. And I just have to let him kind of work through it and remind him that he did an awesome job and that, that sport, whatever it is. And then he's pretty rational where he's like, okay, like, let's go get some dinner and, go to the beach and grab a beer or whatever. Like, so it's, I think that he has a fairly good head on his shoulders about, like, he's been in the worst situations. He dropped out of Kona, went in an ambulance. He was like, I made him put the siren on because this was super expensive. Like, yeah, that's a good attitude. Put the suckers on, And then he's like, I'm fine. Like, he's sending me selfies. I'm like, are you good? I wasn't there, but I was at home worrying.
That's that's tough.
It sounds like the Lindens are a little less tightly wound than we are.
Yeah, I think so. I think they might be.
We're a little bit more like, this is everything. I don't know. I definitely am thinking like, wow, we could have been a little bit more chill, but whatevs. It's over now for us both.
What works,
Yeah.
And I think that in the peak of my career, I was pretty tightly wound, no doubt about it. He's just always been super chill. So I learned a lot from him, fortunately.
I'm super chill too.
So chill. That's the first thing I think of when someone asks me to describe you. I think chill.
That's my specialty.
Well, that's a good place to end this conversation.
No, we gotta. All right, we gotta do top 5.
Top 5. Ryan and Adam, you are included today.
Oh yeah, I have mine.
No. You got to give us a top 5 moment of whatever. What are you excited about?
Anything that's exciting to you.
What?
Kara, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. What?
Okay, I'll start. And this is going to be kind of random. I was going to say this CU women winning yesterday, but I already talked about how much I loved them. So this is going to be kind of a random one. It's out of left field, but cross country was on Saturday, the cross country national championships. And I was really, really happy to see Cooper Teare win the men's race after a couple rough years. And, I had a chance to talk to him at Fifth Ave Mile and kind of doubting himself. It was cool to see him come back and win a national championship. It was awesome, actually. So that's my first one. Number 1. Yeah. 4 to go, guys.
Ryan, do you have anything that's jumping?
Top 5 can it be? Does it have to be running related?
No,
or
it can be about anything.
Oh, she's giving him.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
I'm just suggesting.
I gotta. Yeah.
This was probably going to be his anyways.
Yeah, this one's going to be mine. I don't know, it's kind of big news in Detroit. I don't know if people have heard, but
Oh yeah,
Your wife already bragged.
we're going
congrats.
to the NFC Championship.
Yep.
So the Lions fans, Team Jared Goff, everybody, it's like that's exciting here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I remember I can remember picturing the sofa even sitting on back like 31 years, 32 years ago, sitting there and being like, Dad, can I get a Lions shirt? He's like, no, they got to win the game, knowing all farewell they weren't going to win the game. So I'm taking.
If the Lions make it to the Super Bowl, you can get the shirt.
I can get the shirt this year.
So he's like, yeah.
But I think I've never sat at watching a football game and been so. It was like almost watching a race yesterday because I'm sitting there on edge. I'm like, oh man, now it feels like now I get what it means to be a NFL fan where your team actually matters. And so it was 3 hours of not moving, sweating bullets, okay, I'm gonna get this over with and everything.
Yeah.
So
Great one.
That is a good one, and congrats. It's been fun watching them this year. Because they're not typically anywhere near where they are this year.
No.
Legitimately, you're going to be even more nervous.
It's going to amp up.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just going to get more and more.
Yeah.
So, and then wait till the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They're there. You're going to be nauseous. You're going to be this is. I never get this nervous for Deds, but you're going to be that nervous.
I know.
Yeah, I've been there before, so I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have something?
I don't know. You want to give me some ideas? You want to whisper in my ear? Oh, see, she can't even think of anything.
No, I was like, Ryan, you got to put the clothes in the dryer.
yeah, probably. Yeah, I just heard the buzzer go off.
Don't forget. No, I mean, I don't know. I guess.
It can be anything.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't know. Sorry.
I'll go. I'll buy you time. So I'm going to go with the root beer flavored Olipop.
That's my favorite.
I love to plug the beverages and the sponsor. I don't have any right now, but I do think that eventually, Kara, we're going to have to do a top 5 ranking, and I have a whole game planned out.
Okay.
But in this game, root beer is going to be my key player, so I'm going to go with root beer flavored Olipop. Boom.
I feel like you're actually copying me because I'm pretty sure I said that root beer was my favorite flavor on this podcast. I'm actually pumped about this because usually I copy you. So I'm going on this one time.
I'll tell you the next episode. We'll get into that. All right. It's 3.
Okay. Well, I guess I am. Well, okay. So we went to the women's basketball game, CU women's basketball game, and it was just so fun. It's been fun watching them through the years, and now they're ranked number 3 in the country. They're kicking ass, and that was just so much fun.
It was so fun.
And
you got to see your high school. This is a really good top 5 for you.
Okay, Kara's got my top 5 for me.
You tell.
Well, so
we were watching the game.
Yeah.
And this player looks familiar to him, and now you go.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's I didn't realize, I didn't put 2 and 2 together that I didn't put 2 and 2 together that this was my friend's daughter who I went to high school with. And she played at CU for 2 years when I was there, and then she moved and she transferred. But it was that was pretty cool.
You were super excited.
But anyway, it was fun. I got to see her because they did a
tell us her name.
Val Johnson.
Val Johnson. Adam went to high school with her. She played at CU. We're watching the game. Adam's like, that girl looks familiar. Turns out it's her daughter.
That's wild.
Yeah, Kendall plays. Yeah.
So do you guys have favorite players on the team? Do we a name shout out maybe? Or just the team in
I
general?
think they just play really well together. I mean, I was texting with someone last night who is at all their games, and her she works for the university, and she was just saying the team chemistry is what's so special about their team. They made it to the Sweet 16 last year. They didn't lose anyone. And they're all this, for most of them, this is their last year, and they're playing with urgency, but not panic, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I mean,
it's going to be a good year.
We are we've watched them for the last year and a half, but being there now, I feel like we are crazy. Like we are
Yeah.
basically like Detroit fans right now. We're like, how are we not going to this every time they're home? It was so exciting. So
Yeah.
anyway.
And that's
You
big
guys-
for us because we
Yeah,
didn't, we
yeah.
weren't like,
Tell Des, are we social people?
what-
No, we're not.
I'm a
So-
little more social than Kara. I actually like being around other people usually, but she's done a great job of bringing me down.
It's true.
I'm working on it. I'm working
Yeah.
on it.
So
Ah.
yeah. but no, I mean, just like I think we have such a great history at CU, and with what we accomplished there. And I feel like at this point in my life, just my appreciation for the school and for
Mhm.
the other sports that are out there, but it's just easier to be a fan now at this point in my life, which is maybe kind of weird to say, but it's pretty cool.
Love it.
All right. Well, Des, I'm taking the last one.
Do it.
The last one is that Des fucking Linden is running the Olympic trials on February 3rd. And we're so excited. Watch the trials. They're going to be awesome. We can't wait to talk about it afterwards. But Des, you're still running. It's so cool for me to watch you continue to run and race. And I'm hoping the best for you. I know that you're very level-headed about this go round, but it's so cool you're still doing it and you're a factor and your name is mentioned in every conversation. And anyone that listens to this pod, they're like, more Des about the trials. So
Same day finish. Team same day finish. I get my shirt. Same day finish.
No
That's all we
way.
want.
I kind
That's
of
all
feel
we
like I
want.
want to go. I want to be there to watch you make that team.
You should come.
Watch
Did you?
you
Are we going to bring the dog? Are you going to have the dogs at the finish line waiting for you?
With their
or
t-shirts on.
team for the team does dogs or
Yeah,
I mean, if you come, you could have the dogs at the finish
I
line.
could hold the dogs for you, sure.
With the dogs. Love it.
Now, anyway, I'll do. Yeah, that'd be fun. It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be so fun. And it's super
always
cool to see you out there. And we already talked about it at the top of this pod, but it's just a really cool year. And it's so cool that you're going to be in it. And I can't wait.
So do you think we announce what we're doing after the race now, or do we just surprise and delight?
Wait, what?
Never mind. It'll just surprise and delight. Surprise and delight. Thanks, guys. Time today
Oh yeah,
to join us.
that's
So
a
exciting.
cliffhanger right there. There's gonna
We're
be
gonna have
something
guests.
pretty cool, right? Yeah.
Oh, I think it should be out by the time this pod comes out.
That news is great. I was talking. We can. I'm gonna type it in the chat.
Yeah, type it in the chat because Chris can edit this. Oh, okay. Where are we going to do that though? In like a hotel lobby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in the hotel lobby.
Okay.
No.
Go back. Let's do it then.
But we're not doing like a live thing. We're just gonna record
Mm-hmm.
post race, the freshest takes,
The freshest.
the freshest.
We're always the freshest.
Lollipop.
Are we not? Freshy fresh. We got you off of the car in New York and got you to record. Des is going to run the Olympic trials and we're going to have the freshest take of anyone out there.
I'm gonna
So-
sit in my uniform. Put
That's
on
right.
some shorts because you don't want anything
Gonna feel
happening.
good.
Maybe
Oh, you're
keep
not gonna
some-
change before this?
No, it's going to be the freshest
Fresh
take.
shorts.
And yes, so you're all going to get a bonus episode.
That's cool.
Boom. Bonus
Woohoo!
episode. Get excited. All right.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys. Thanks, Adam.
I'm
I'm
Thanks,
sure this is
Ryan.
going to be one of your most exciting podcasts
It
for
already
all of
is.
your
100%.
listeners, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
1,000.
Oh yeah. You're gonna have to bring us on more often, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
You think
do
we're
we,
joking?
do we get like a once a month guest appearance pass here or
We'll see how the
Yes.
numbers look. We'll see
Yeah,
how the
let's see.
numbers look.
People, if you want to see more Adam and Ryan,
Okay.
download the episodes and let us know on social
hmm
because they could be regular contributors.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
That's a wrap.
Bye. Thank you.